Am I smarter than Tom Brady? It is I, the fourth Ball brother, HUNNABALL. Something about being a part of sports media and not playing professionally does make me feel a little weird.
You don't even know, man. You didn't play ball.
And it's a fair point. There used to be this mindset of, athletes are so boring, we need fun and exciting characters to cover sports, like journalists.
You know better than the Giants. The next 10 years, you're going to face Carson Wentz 20 times.
I don't know if you've ever met a journalist. Fun and exciting are not two words that come to mind.
I got two words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul.
Thanks, Chucky. Shows like Inside the NBA, Rest in Power, and the NFL Network crew do a really good job of bridging the gap between athlete and analysis. But it didn't really change until one athlete was brave enough to do things his way. I'm of course talking about Podcast P. No, I'm kidding. Let's talk about Pat McAfee. It took him years of uploads and a few cracks at stand-up comedy until eventually he was able to make his show more exciting and insightful than most of the talking heads on TV. No hot takes or headlining interviews necessary, just good friends talking ball. I just talked about the NFL Network crew, and while those people seem like genuine friends, there's no doubt at all here, because why else would they all be here? It's not like Tone Diggs has some crazy handle on the sport of football, because it's not just a fun show to watch. The whole crew gives insightful and honest takes on topics inside and outside of sports.
The Rizzler's the one.
He can't shoot a basketball, though.
They've also got such a way of making their guests feel comfortable, but also respected, without it ever being too serial. It was also the most accessible sports talk show. It was, and still is, uploaded to YouTube on the daily, which is kind of a cheat code. PMS does numbers, man. Last December, they averaged 886 live viewers across YouTube and TV. Could you imagine? I thought my Madden video did well. And if you bring in that kind of audience, you're gonna get paid, man. They were estimated to be bringing in $30 million annually, and that was before the mouse opened his checkbook. But ESPN clearly made the right call. They're getting up to 1.6 million average per minute viewers, a 38% increase from last year. What? And the ratings keep getting up. Speaking of getting up, let's talk about LeBron James really quick. Personally, I think LeBron's the GOAT, and I think about him in the shower all the time, but, not for the reason you might think.
When you take a shower, do you wash your legs?
I used to just let the soap just do what it do.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't make that clip up. Then I would have sounded weird. Whether or not you think LeBron James is the GOAT is not up for debate here, and I would really hate for you to comment a long essay on why you think I'm wrong in the comments down below.
Oh my God, I would hate that.
But you've got to admit, Mind the Game is a pretty good watch, no? Is it a bit of a LeBron glaze?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's still worth watching because, hot take, this dude loves basketball. He also gives actual insight to the game, not just, who is your top 5 centers of all time? Who cares, dude? Who cares?
Boom. Bingo.
Steve Nash, best known for the Charles Barkley clip from earlier, is also a pretty good co-host, but he did have some interesting shoes to fill. I have my issues with JJ Redick and how he coached last season's playoffs. My God. But you have to admit, he does know basketball, and I think it's hilarious when people call JJ Redick a podcaster. You know he played in the NBA, right? For like 15 seasons. Need I remind you that Doc Rivers has a job? Is Mind the Game my favorite show ever? No. My attention span is way too short for that. That's why I edit these videos like this. That way I have something to look at besides this dumb, stupid face and this awful spray tan. But the show has its place, clearly. And the best part about current sports media is, if you don't like it, you can just watch something else, because everyone has a podcast now. I have so many athlete podcast takes that I just can't fit them all in this video. So for this next bit, I'm gonna spin a wheel. Are you ready? This is only gonna work if you respond back, man. Here we go. Jesus Christ. New heights. Okay. So this is the big one. This is the sports podcast that your aunt listens to, because her. And, it's not my thing, but I'm not going to knock it. It was the #1 sports podcast of 2024. People love this show. And honestly, how could they not? With hilarious merch like El Travador Returns. Very cool. Like I said, this show is not my thing, but it has a very diverse audience, and they even got a Super Bowl commercial out of it, which is super annoying. The game wasn't enough, guys? Another spin. Here we go. Stop going new heights. Oh, Kyrie. Let's go. Kyrie Irving's Twitch streams. I don't know if this counts, but I really wanted to talk about it. Kyrie goes on Twitch on the regular, and honestly, it's really fun to watch. He gives these hilariously motivating rants.
where I am in the craft of basketball historically, I just want to speak on this real quick too. The media will never have control of that.
Kyrie is such an awesome dude, and it makes me so happy to see him flip the script on the major media outlets that try to paint him as the villain. If you can't tell, I'm not a big fan of ESPN or weather apps. Neither can be trusted. I want one more. I want to talk about Micah Parsons. Come on, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. Boom shakalaka. The edge with Micah Parsons. Get it? Because he's always on the edge of winning an important game?
I'm just 6 months celebrating.
I just wanted to say that joke. But honestly, it's a fun watch too. Micah's cool to watch, but when you put him and CJ Stroud together, oh, that's a dynamic duo, man. And if you haven't noticed, I really appreciate when people are friends on TV. It comes through the screen. Have I made that point already? Do we have time for one more spin? What is this?
Really intense fetishes because they can't get off to normal things anymore. I've met.
Yeah, let's call it there. I can talk about Nightcap, but kind of rough waters at this point. Athlete-driven podcasts are awesome, but the thing with them is they tend to drop off after a while. The novelty wears off. Take, for example, Podcast P. Most of you may know him from my outro clip.
Ball game.
His show's good, but it took this major drop-off a couple months ago, and I can't explain why other than the market must have corrected itself. The truth is, people only watch good shit. The novelty wears off eventually, and there's no one more honest than a person scrolling YouTube. So if you're watching, I so appreciate you. And since we're having this conversation, I have another question for you. Did you know Tom Brady has a YouTube channel? Funny stuff about Tom's content is, while he does make some sports-oriented videos, most of them are just like vlogs, His show is called Last Week, which is weird because he uploads monthly, but it is kind of one big, I'm Tom Brady, look at how cool my life is. I challenged Morgan Wallen to a golf match. Yeah, dude, me too. He does offer some momentary insights on the psychology behind the game, but those moments are kind of few and far between, and he's golfing into the ocean now. Okay, I guess. Whatever, Tom, do what you want. He retired. It's not like he didn't earn it.
And hit him into the ocean!
Is it the end of the world that Tom Brady's the new Jake Paul? No. Am I gonna like, share, and subscribe? Also no. Like I said, the market is self-correcting, and I love that we're so far removed from the media monopoly that was held by ESPN and FS1 from just like a decade ago. And the rise of player podcasts made me think that ESPN and FS1 were dying on the vine, and I was half right. We're at a major fork in the road right now with sports media. There's insightful direct-to-consumer content, and then there's nonsense rage bait, and there's not much room in the middle. And FS1 is getting boxed out. Stephen A may be unbearable, but he makes awesome background noise at a barbershop or a gym. It's not like anyone's actually listening to him. They just want to comment on the takes in the lower third. Stephen Smith used to write articles, but then he realized something. Reading is for chumps. Hell, watching sports is for chumps, apparently. So sports media is changing like never before, and player podcasts aren't going anywhere. So if you're not a fan, tough luck, Chuck. And while I know it's easy to hate on a player, more focused on a microphone than a Mike linebacker, cut him some slack, dude. People are allowed to have hobbies. If Daniel Jones started a podcast, we'd be livid as fans. But if he picked up archery, would we even care? Maybe, because we all know he's not very accurate. But watch what you want to watch, make what you want to make, and maybe, just maybe, Fox should just shut up and broadcast. Oh, the video is supposed to end, but I already used the Paul George clip. Okay, this is my dog. His name's Captain, and he wants you to like and subscribe.